Now that we have our tablet and mobile-specific style sheets, we need to use media queries to target those devices. We'll start in this movie by discussing targeting based on screen size and follow that up by dealing with some considerations for targeting iOS devices such as the iPad and the iPhone. So I have the tours.htm opened up, and right at the top of the page here in the code, we have our links to our style sheets. Now currently the tablet and the mobile style sheet are applying to all screen and projection devices. We want to change that. So the first thing I'm going to do is work with my tablet style sheet, and I'm just going to go ahead and replace the contents here of projection and comma. So I'm just going to leave screen. And actually, if I wanted to, I could also do all, but remember that would apply to like print devices as well. So I'm just going to leave it as screen. So I'm going to say screen and then open up a parentheses. Essentially here I'm going to do minimum width of 481 pixels. Now, that's not a random value that I chose. Most mobile devices, including the iPhone, they have a minimum screen size of 480 pixels. More on that a little bit later on when we talk about iOS-specific devices. So for a tablet, I don't want those styles to be served below that. I want the mobile styles served below that. So that's what we're doing with the minimum width. Then we're going to use another and keyword to join another media function. And here we're going to do a max width. Max width. Now the max width here is going to be 768 pixels. Coincidentally enough, that's the width of the iPad in the portrait orientation. Okay, now we're ready to go into our mobile media queries. And I'm just going to save myself a little bit of typing by copying this media query and then pasting it in place of screen and projection. And again, here, my values need to change. I'm going to do a minimum width of 0. Really, it'll allow me to any device from 0 on up to 480 pixels. So notice how these meet. 481 to 768, I get my tablet styles. Anywhere between 0 to 480, I get my mobile styles. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, I want to have a discussion here about minimum width for just a moment. Minimum width is more reliable than device width. I know I've read articles where people are using device width to target mobile devices and tablets and things like that. Now, the device itself may have a specific screen size, but here's the thing that you have to understand. Mobile displays are sometimes served at a very different resolution and screen size based on what the manufacturer's idea of what an ideal viewing size is. So while your media query may work in targeting that device, the problem is that it's going to be served at whatever resolution or pixel aspect ratio that the manufacturer has determined. So a lot of times your mobile site will appear, but it'll be very, very tiny or not the size you need it. So essentially, by using minimum and maximum width, you're targeting the viewport itself. So the actual viewport size, not the device size. And it's a lot smarter choice than using device width to do that. It helps to avoid a lot of problems. Okay, so now we have our tablet and mobile screen sizes being served based on the width of the available viewport. Now, as we've seen, resizing the screen size will serve the desired layout. Let's go ahead and just test that. So if I preview this in Chrome, again, there it shrinks down. Shrink it a little further. We get our mobile. Cool, it's working now. There are still a couple of tweaks that we need to make to target specific devices, such as the iPhone and the iPad. But before we get into those, however, I want to take a brief detour into working with page orientation, and we're going to do that in our next movie.